Today we're at Flamingoland Resort, Yorkshire. Welcome to the United Kingdom Attraction Channel. Yes, hello and welcome to the United Kingdom Attraction Channel. It is the 13th of April 2021. It is Tuesday today. Yesterday we were at Blackpool Pleasure Beach and today we're at Flamingoland. Joining me today is Gemma Buckham.
Hello!
How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
Ready for the theme park season?
I certainly am.
So today Flamingoland hasn't actually opened their entire theme park. The zoo is open and a selection of younger rides. So it's a bit of a shame that they're not opening the entire park. However, it's not going to be really busy, especially on a weekday in April. Gemma's looking forward to the zoo though. So
I am, and the sea lion show.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to film that. I don't know if we will, but hopefully if we can, we'll get some footage of the sea lion show. We're definitely going to get some of the animals at the zoo and show you the rides and attractions which are open today as well. So we're going to head over to the gate. The gate is actually normally behind us, the main entrance. However, that isn't open today because that would get you straight into the main part of the theme park, and I think they're trying to get away from that. So we're going to walk over towards the top of the car park, which is where you come in with your car, and they've opened the gate at the top end of the park. So we're going to walk in there and hopefully see what they have on offer today. So we'll see you over there. So that is us inside the park. We're probably going to head to the zoo, or over towards the zoo first. What you did see there was we walked past the, what is the kids play area, which normally you have to come right up to the top end of the park. That is the entrance currently. I don't know what date it changes. However, at the weekends they do open some of the bigger attractions, like Mumbo Jumbo is open, one of the roller coasters here. So we'll just have to play it by ear to find out when the rest of all the attractions do open here at Flamingoland. There is some ride, I did touch on it, so we're going to hopefully get some off-ride footage of them for you, and obviously some footage of the animals as well. We're going to try and hit some of the animals when they're getting fed.
Yeah, to catch the tiger feeding.
The tiger feeding. And what is that? Is there any more? Or is it just the tiger?
No, there is a few different
There is a few
animals,
different
yeah,
there, so that'll be good.
Staggered at different times, so you could catch them all.
So hopefully we'll get some of that for you. And oh yeah.
The play park looks absolutely epic.
It does, for younger
I
kids.
Was 10 again.
If you do 10, maybe 5.
Nah, definitely not. I'll be in there if I was 10.
Would you? You'll be there at 37.
I also noticed the pub's open, so that'll be me.
Oh yeah, that's a bonus for Gemma. So there is a pub right next to the play area, so that's great for parents of young kids. You can just let your kids run wild in the play area and you can sit and have a pint.
Well, we're not sure if they're serving alcohol yet, but we'll find out later on.
Trust us, you'll find out. So we'll see you over at the zoo. So just while we're going to head to the zoo, we've noticed the scan and plan plaque on the side of a fence here at Flamingoland. We did go ahead and give it a scan. Basically it takes you to their guidance on their website of what is open today due to the government lockdown or restrictions, should we say, whatever stage we're in now. I think we're in stage 2, are we, Gemma? So stage 2 guidance from the government and rules. So I'm guessing that will update as we go into different stages throughout the year. So definitely, if you're coming to Flamingoland and you're unsure what's open, definitely give the scan and plan a little scan, and it'll tell you what's open today and what attractions you can go and visit. And hopefully plan your day around that. So hopefully that's given you a little bit information on the scan and plan.
Oh, you spoiled my picture.
What was that, Gemma?
You spoiled my picture.
Forget your picture. My blog. So we're currently in the Muddy Duck Farm, and this is the Muddy Duck house, which is kind of cute. Although the ducks are on the other side. Oh no, there's one. They're coming over for food. Oh no, it's chasing a fly.
Well, here it comes.
What we're naming the duck?
Gemma,
Gemma, Michael. Gemma and Michael.
And Gemma and Michael.
We can't have two Gemmas and Michaels.
Aye.
Come on viewers, what are we naming these ducks? Leave your comments down below. Oh, they are coming over. No food here, guys. That is really, really nice. To eat! Oh, the hen?
Yeah, a peacock.
No, I was going to say you can't eat the peacock. Although it is beautiful. They're like miniature goats, aren't they?
They're pygmy goats, that's why.
What's a pygmy goat?
A miniature goat?
Well, why didn't you just say miniature?
That's what they're called, pygmies?
Oh. Peacock's still very angry.
At itself.
Only at Flamingoland, guys. Only at Flamingoland. I think the peacock wants in the gift shop.
I think it's fighting its reflection. Watch. It is.
It's going to be fighting us in a minute. I don't like the looks it's giving us. We want in the gift shop too.
Let us in, let us in. It is. It's fighting its own reflection. Go on, sir. Get it. Get it. Get it.
It's having a good look at itself, isn't it?
It's going for itself.
Ooh. It's going to put that wind out.
It's not quite. It might have climbed up.
The peacock has now flown to roof. It's had enough of battering itself.
It's not the same peacock.
I don't know.
It's not.
Do you think the other one's still there?
Because they're all videoing it.
Oh no, so this is
Peacock number 2.
peacock number 2. It's had enough of peacock number 1 battering itself. It's stuck to the roof. So that is us out of the farm now, and we're heading into the zoo, so hopefully we're going to get a little bit more tropical animals and birds now. And boy, here we go. What's that, an ostrich? Or is it an emu or whatever they're called? They're quite big, but I don't think they're ostriches, are they? I'll have to have a look at the signs and report back. So they're actually not ostriches or emus, they're greater arias, is it?
Aria, yeah.
Aria.
Where's the A?
Oh well. So not an ostrich or an emu.
A great aria.
Learn something every day. So we've just learned a new animal today. It's a vicuna, which looks like a llama. Right over in the distance. Try and zoom in for you. Hopefully we'll get some better views over there.
That one.
They're loving life, aren't they?
That one's still not come up yet. Oh, she's still got like that 20 times more to get to. The baby penguin just got in there. That's really interesting how they've got all the different species of penguins.
Oh, they are, from biggest to smallest. Look, length.
Oh yeah.
All the way down to the smallest.
Oh, look at that one.
That one's got like a comb over.
Same colour as your hair, Michael.
It's must have had it dyed.
Oh, they're the ones that are over there, the Humboldt ones.
Alright, 70 centimetres. So with us being at Flamingoland today, it would be, I don't know, stupid without calling the park Flamingoland without having flamingos. And here they are. Oh, something's jumping as well. What is that? It's like a kangaroo. Or do you think that's the wallabies, Gemma?
No, the wallabies are the maras.
It sucked to be a flamingo in Roman times.
Certainly did.
Yeah, they are not dead, they are alive. Do not panic. Oh dear.
Oh, go on, have a stretch, sir.
I hope the bird doesn't come in and peck them.
Right.
Everything seems to be fighting a day.
Oh, super chill, man.
Aww. He's just woke up. Okay, where's my food?
Just looking for a cozy spot.
Aww.
Either that or it's going to have a dump.
Please don't. No.
Cozy spot.
Aww. I'm not going to be in the water.
Something you do for animal scrapping.
Banana.
Oh, do you think that one's had prawns?
I like how you've said that on camera. Oh, here they go fighting again. Oh dear.
shove its bum back in.
Ooh, that's a big one.
I know.
That must be like the leader.
No, I think that one is over there. Or maybe it's two.
The wise leader over here. Just chilling.
I'll go now and grab a monkey. No.
So we're in the wallaby walkthrough, a walkway. Probably gonna get battered off a wallaby. Yeah, got nothing. Don't break the gate. And that is what we're looking for. Which just happens to be quite a few of them chilling on the rocks.
We're just enjoying the sun, aren't we?
They are. They're probably
Such
like
a beautiful day.
just to show you all you guys, this is the only thing keeping them back. So I don't think it really is keeping them back. They can go on the path if they wanted to. Although they're all being well behaved. Just chilling on the rocks. Oh, it's going to come on the path.
Oh, looks nice.
So cute.
No way.
Aww.
Oh, you're scared.
Hello.
They're playing with us.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. And quite
Aww. Look at the little feet.
Tiny one there.
Stay safe, they're trying to snake, don't go near it.
Aww.
I can't see. Yeah.
So we've officially found the emu. I can get it through the fence, which has a little bit of a waddle. Looks like Gemma because I'm following Gemma.
Wow, what an animal.
Hopefully we'll see more of him.
A half one for the feeding
It's
time.
half on to the feeding because I think the reflection is just missing.
Oh, here comes the other one.
Amazing animal, so.
Out there.
Don't know if I'd have one as a pet though.
Did you hear that keeper say that was his favourite window? I'm sure it's an ostrich.
We've found what we think is the ostrich, eventually. Not an emu, or what was the other one we were called?
Rhea.
An aria. Apparently I'm pronouncing that wrong.
It's not got a name.
Aria.
Rhea?
Aria. But we found our ostrich with the zebras. What do you call them, zebras? I don't know.
That was so zebra, but... You're right.
So yes, we're just heading over. Oh, and really zoomed. That's unzoomed. Oh, that's getting worse. do want to be zooming in on my face. So we're gonna head over towards the giraffes, and we've got camels right in front of us. So we'll show you them as well. I just wanted to touch on that is the train track, which is normally in operation on a normal day here at Flamingoland. However, I have already said that the rides, or most of the rides of the theme park, aren't open today. They're not in operation. It is a shame that the train's not in operation, or the monorail even, just to get some good views of the animals while still riding a ride. It would have been really good. However, the train does go through a lot of the theme park, so they've probably just took the decision to close that as well. So we're just going to make our way over to the camels, which are also massive animals. Could you imagine being on top of that? Wow.
I wouldn't like one of them in the summer.
Well, I've been on a camel and it wasn't like that.
So that was different breeds, I think.
Yeah. Recreating the desert there on the sand. Not that there's much desert. I hope they're allowed in that field. Otherwise it's a very small enclosure for the camels.
Are you coming? We don't need to.
No, we get a good view here, don't we?
Oh, that one likes me.
The animals do seem to like your voice. We don't have food, unfortunately.
Aren't you beautiful? Isn't it? Beautiful. You come say hello.
How they don't fall over with them legs, my god.
No, I just want my bird. Now the first thing I'll say, hippos are nocturnal, so they do like to sleep in the water during the day. They also weigh about 3 tons, so if they don't listen to me to start off with, you may hear me making a fool of myself shouting their names for a while before they come over. Guards, Ernie, come on boy, I can see you looking at me. There we go. Now, we have 2 common hippopotamus here at Flamingoland. They are the biggest species of hippo. Their names are Ernie, who is turning around very slowly, and Godzilla. Ernie is about 17.5 years old, and Godzilla is his auntie. She's about 22.5. Now, these guys arrived here around 18 years ago, and we didn't actually know Ernie was going to be a resident of Flamingoland. So, Godzilla arrived here with her sister Betsy about 18 years ago, and we didn't know Betsy was pregnant. It's quite hard to tell if hippo's pregnant, as you can tell. There's a very thick outer layer of skin, and their belly hangs quite low to the ground anyway, so you're quite hard to tell if hippo's pregnant. And they're extremely aggressive, so you can't go and just feel if they're pregnant or get an ultrasound on them. So, we didn't know she was pregnant, and then I am told that the keepers came in one day, and there's a small beach ball sized object bobbing in the water. And that was this man just here who's come over for the answer. Now as they come over, I can tell you more. So, these guys are herbivorous, they're grazers, but they are nocturnal. So they spend most of the day in Africa, in pools like this, sometimes a lot smaller in the dry season, and they'll get out at night when it's a lot cooler, and they'll go on and graze on the grass. Now I'm going to bring them over closer, I'll get them to open their mouths, and you can see their giant tusks. They don't use them for eating, because they are grazers, but what they do use them for fighting. These guys are the most aggressive animal in the world, I'd say, at least. They cause about 500 deaths a year in the wild, human deaths, and they're extremely territorial, so you don't want to get next to a hippo. We don't do any hands-on contact with them, which is why this is really important, so we can check the health of them without having to put them under anaesthetic, which is a stress, or put them in situations that might cause harm to them. So all I'm going to ask, if they come a bit closer, is Ernie, open! Good boy! Wow. Good girl, Gods! Missed that. They come a bit closer. So when you open their mouths, you can see that they've got huge tusks. They're fighting tusks. A tusk is just a giant tooth. And they use those to sort of fight other hippos, fight off any animals that are getting in their way, and create the space they need. These guys live in huge groups in the water, very closely next to each other in the dry season because there's not much water, and so they are quite aggressive and grumpy. Now those tusks are actually made of the same stuff as an elephant tusk. That's again just a tooth. It's ivory. It's the reason we have to protect hippos in the wild now. Now I don't feed them unless I open them. It's a reward for doing something I ask them, and that's basically because we don't want people that aren't zookeepers feeding them stuff that isn't good for them. This is just a treat for them, apples and cabbage. It gets them over, it gives them a bit of a treat. Are you going to come closer? Come closer. we'll wait for them to come a bit closer. As I said, 3-ton animals, they can take a while to do what you want. And if they don't do what you want, you've got no way of making them do what you want. Ernie, come a bit closer. Open. Good girl, Gods. Oh. Gods. Ernie, that missed you. Ernie, open. Ernie, open. Good boy. So as I said, these guys are nocturnal, but they spend all day in the water. Now they can't actually swim underwater, they're too heavy. The way these guys are built, Godzilla weighs about 3 tons, Ernie just over 3 tons, and he's actually quite a small male. So he is in the Guinness World Book of Records, if you can say that. He is, I believe, the first successful hippo castration. So he's not going to have any babies, but it just doesn't mean that he's not going to get as big as he could do. Living with his mum and his auntie, you don't want them to breed. So he's only about 3.5 tons. An adult male can get up to 5 tons. 4.5 to 5 tons you can get to an adult hippo. And they're not slow. Out of the water, they can run at about 35 kilometres an hour. So you'd be worried about Usain Bolt outrunning them. I don't think he could actually. So even the quickest human in the world would not outrun a hippo. Their strength, they can chop a crocodile in half in one bite. So they are built this huge, and they are just huge muscular animals. They look a bit pudgy, but actually their skin is just 2 inches thick, almost like a whale blubber, and underneath it's just pure muscle. These guys are quite closely related to whales and other sort of dolphins. Underwater they communicate with clicks and other sort of dolphin-like noises. Outside of the water they make a noise like this, and I'm going to make a fool of myself. They go, and that is a hippo noise. They usually do that when they're marking their territory or calling their territory. What Ernie does when he's marking his territory, it's a bit disgusting. He sometimes poos. The poo will float to the top of the water, then he'll spin his tail really quickly, and wherever that poo lands is his territory. It's a way of marking other females around him. Open, good girl. Straight down the run. Ernie, you gonna open? God. Now they're extremely... Ernie, stop busting on your auntie and open your mouth. Ernie, open! You gonna open? Oh, I'm gonna hit God's on the head. But yeah, so, as I was saying, they don't actually swim underwater. They're too heavy for that muscle. So what they do is they sink to the bottom and they bounce along the bottom of the ground. So if there is a YouTube video, I think it's either San Francisco or San Diego Zoo, that their enclosure is basically built so you can see it underwater. And if you go on YouTube and type hippo swimming underwater, you'll see the evidence of them bouncing along the water rather than swimming underwater. They're just too heavy. They can't actually breathe underwater either, so they have to hold their breath. An adult hippo from maybe 5 minutes at a time, on average, maybe a bit longer, can hold their breath. But they do have to come up for air, like whales, like the things they're related to. Now they are extremely well adapted to living in Africa. They've developed this, or evolved to live in the water over a long time to keep themselves cool. However, they do have other ways of keeping themselves cool and not getting burnt from the sun. They've got no hair, or they've got very, very small amount of hair on their body to keep them from getting sunburnt. So what they do is they actually secrete red blood-like fluid. It's not sweat, but it comes from glands on their body, and that has two purposes. One is to protect them from sun. It's like a sunscreen. That's why if you go and look on David Attenborough's hippo documentaries, you'll see they look quite pink. That's actually the fluid they're secreting. It stops them from getting burnt. But it's also quite a good antiseptic. Now these guys are very aggressive. They do pick up cuts every so often. What I will say, if you ever see any cuts on our hippos, don't worry too much. Their skin is 2 inches thick, so if you see a cut on them, it's like us getting a thorn. It's literally nothing really. It's a very superficial, not going to hurt them. But then that fluid also secretes an antiseptic property, which means they don't get infected and they can heal quite quickly. He's come out the water now, so you can see that true size of them. That's Godzilla just there, so she's out the water. She's a beautiful, beautiful hippo. Now the reason we have to have hippos in captivity is to protect them as a as a genetic viability in case they go extinct in the wild. Now in 1996 they did a study of the hippo populations and they found that there's around about almost 200,000 hippos in the wild. By 2004, 20% of that population has been killed. So we've lost around about 40,000 hippos in 8 years. There's another study in 2016, and it's only about 125,000 hippos. Now the reason is, the same reason elephants are getting shot is because of that ivory stuff. Now hippopotamus, unfortunately, are a lot softer, the ivory there, a lot softer, it's easy to carve, which means people will carve, they can shoot their hippos, take the teeth, and carve ornaments out of them for that sort of industry. It's not a nice industry. It also doesn't help the hippos with nocturnal sleep in the water all day, so they're not easy to shoot.
Look at that hippo!
Yeah. A lot larger. So they are decreasing at an alarming rate. That's why they're now abundant and endangered, and why we have them here in zoos around the world. Now we wouldn't possibly like to really consider in the future, but we wouldn't do it while Ernie's here. Not only is Ernie quite a small male, and males are very territorial,
I think he's taking
but also there was a chance that they live together. There's small animals, whether it's giraffes, elephants, lions, hippos. Other males will kill the youngsters of rival males, so that it brings them feeling of season, but it's also not competition. And we wouldn't want to risk that. You don't want to risk it in a captive environment. So we'd have to either build a zoo close to somewhere, or we'd find a zoo that wants a Guinness World Record holder.
I want to get out. I want to see Ernie, is that what you said?
Now, if you've got any other questions about animals, anyone's here, please feel free to ask. I will say a bit about the animals on the other side. So this is our old house, we call it. Our new house is over there, the other wooden house over the line. We have our breeding giraffe over there and our adder. These two giraffes over here, their names are Charlotte and Zara, and they're what we call hybrid giraffe. So one of the problems of zoos is that we're always doing more research and finding out new things. So about 20 years ago, we didn't actually know that there were different types of giraffes. Research has shown recently that there's 9 different subspecies of giraffe, and there could actually possibly 5 different species of giraffe. So these guys got tested, their blood, and we found out what happened. And these guys were bred between 2 different species of giraffe, which means they're hybrids, which now we know isn't really a great conservation because we're not going to breed the hybrids in the wild. So we don't breed these girls, but we're not going to get rid of them. We love them too much and it's not fair on them. So they have a very nice life here. But our breeding herd with George over there, Lizzie and Miley, the 2 females, we've got 3 daughters in there, Dottie, Savannah and Sophie. And they basically are our breeding herd of Rothschild giraffe, the endangered species of giraffe. And he is one of the only last viable purebred Rothschilds in Europe. So he's very important to the species. He's also the tallest giraffe in the UK of his species. He's about 8.5 to 19 foot tall. But these girls here, they're a bit older, but they're all lovely. And if you look at a giraffe, things you need to understand, they haven't got horns, they haven't got antlers. Those bumps in their head are called ossicones. Now, very sort of simply, a horn is made out of bone, with a sort of keratin outside, and this is a rhino horn, which is just keratin, for your hair. Basically made out of hair, or horn is. An antler, like a deer antler, is made out of pure bone, so the nails take off during the summer. And these guys are called ossicones, which is made of the same stuff as our nose. It's cartilage. It's calcified cartilage, which means strong as bone. So they do what's called necking. Now kids, don't ask your parents what necking is, because they might say something completely different. Giraffe necking is when they swing their necks at each other, and the males do that for sort of fighting in territory and breeding. Females sometimes do that just to get other animals out of the way. And those ossicones, they've got 2 big ones, and then that bump on their head is also an ossicone. And they're very strong. Creates a strong sort of skull, which means they've got less risk of hurting themselves when they do that. They are also extremely tall. They've got extremely long tongues. The average giraffe is about 12 inches long, and it's a dark purple colour. And that's because they spend about 60 hours a day browsing on trees. And what they do is they eat acacia thorns down in Africa. The acacia thorns are about that long, and you don't put your thumb on a hawk, it's going to be really hurt. So they wrap their tongue around the base of the branch, and they basically pull along the branch, and that way they can get all the thorns off without hurting their tongue and all the leaves off. So it's that sort of length that they wrap it around. But it's that dark blue colour, they spend a lot of time with their tongue out, and a dark colour means you're not going to get sunburned. So a dark purple colour means they're less likely to get burned. When the giraffes are born, they're about 6 foot tall. And one thing people worry about is, I've been asked a few times, is there a risk of giraffes getting hurt? They give birth standing up. It's quite a long drop for a baby giraffe to come from. However, it's giraffe legs out, and they've almost touched the ground already, so it's not a big risk. They've evolved over time to have this amazing adaptation. We've also got 3 areas in here.
So we've just come from the giraffe and hippo feeding. What do you think of that, Gemma?
It was really informative. The keeper was really good.
It was really good. Definitely worth coming down here if you are at Flamingoland. We're now heading to, well, there was 2 different types of giraffe. I don't know if you've listened on that.
Yeah, because those 2 are hybrids.
Yeah, so these 2 giraffes here are a hybrid giraffe. They've been bred between 2 different species, and basically what they're saying is that they're not going to breed these 2 giraffes anymore, even though they are 2 females. However, the giraffes that we're heading to now are very important. They're very rare giraffes.
The Rothschild giraffe.
They're a, what to call it when it's a
endangered species.
Endangered species, that's right. So they definitely want to be keeping this breed and breeding them if possible. And I think there is it one of only a few in Europe. So they definitely are very important giraffes that we're heading to now. So hopefully we'll see you over there. We're just on our way to see them giraffes. You can actually see them lions sunbathing right over in the middle of the enclosure. I don't blame them. They've picked a good day for it. So you've just seen there a pan shot of all the roller coasters here at Flamingoland. It is almost torture, a person like me not being able to ride all these rides behind me. And also we've got the new roller coaster in the background over there. So we are definitely going to have to come back to Flamingoland in the summer when all the rides are open in peak season, and hopefully get our first ride on, I still think it's unnamed, the unnamed roller coaster here at Flamingoland, but hopefully it does open this season. It is planned to open this season, so we'll definitely be getting a ride on that. And of course Kamali, I mean we're at Blackpool Pleasure Beach yesterday. It's the same sort of roller coaster, an SLC, however this one isn't suspended completely over water. This one is on land, so all you land goers. It is slightly higher than Infusion, and I think it was actually customed for this park. I don't think there is another shape like it, unlike Infusion, which also has multiple types around the world of its exact shape. And I would also say that this one is definitely a lot smoother here at Flamingoland than the one at Blackpool. It's probably not the smoothest in terms of roller coasters, but definitely in terms of this type of roller coaster, it is a lot smoother. So if you do want to ride one of these roller coasters, definitely get yourself here at Flamingoland. It also has Mumbo Jumbo, which is open at the weekends, and at the time of opening it was a world record breaker for the steepest drop of any roller coaster here in the UK, but it was around the world. However, there also has been many of its type which has overtaken or equalled that title. It also has a quirky roller coaster called Hero, which I find very bumpy, which you actually lie down. It is a lie down coaster. It is definitely worth a coaster credit, however not my favourite type of roller coaster here. And of course Velocity, which has been here for many years, which is a launch coaster, standard track that is similar ones, or exact ones of its type around, so nothing too special there. So hopefully get on them later on in the year. So here are the rarer giraffes here at Flamingoland, an endangered species, and they are in a breeding program to hopefully reverse that. Obviously we want to see these giraffes in the wild, but the next best thing is in places like this. So we've just come from the coach house. We've had a few drinks.
Yep.
You happy now, Gemma?
Happy days!
We're not drunk, trust us. Pricing?
Not too bad. $3.90 for a plate of Foster's, $4.55 for a plate of dark fruits,
Yeah,
which
so
isn't too bad.
It's not too bad. So all you parents out there that, or should I say over 18s, that want to have a drink, you can come down to Flamingoland. What was it called? The old coach house?
The coach house.
The coach house.
It's especially at this time, it's preferable to book. Because
Yes.
we just tried to get a table for some food.
And that was not possible.
Yeah, so
although
we'll
we'll
have
have
to
booked,
book
so we're in it half free for some food. So we'll be able to do a food review, a full food review then, which is really good. We're heading over now. The tiger enclosure, they're doing a food, what is it? Like they're feeding the tigers. I think we'll have just missed that. However, hopefully we'll get some view of the tigers as well. And then it is the sea lion show, so we're looking forward to that, aren't we? Which will be really good. And then we'll be having our food hopefully. So we'll see you over hopefully at the tiger enclosure and then the sea lion show. So we're just walking down to the sea lion show now, and have you seen the queue?
I don't think we're gonna get them.
Well, we'll have to have a look. But yeah, the queue actually wraps around the entire field.
And it doesn't start till 2 o'clock.
Well, let's hope there's enough seats. Oh God.
Marvin's going to do most of the showing off for us today. He's one of 4 sea lions we have here. He's a male California sea lion. He will be 21 years of age in June. So he's quite an old boy now, but very friendly, a lot of fun. Those who have been before will have no doubt met Marvin. He has been the star of the show here for quite some time. And he's going to show you what he can do. I'll tell you all about him. We should have a bit of a laugh too. Later on, we're going to bring out the little sea lion. That's when the real fun starts. His name's Mateo. He's only 2. And he's a complete mischief. You'll meet him later on. But Marvin likes to start every show here with a wave. If you guys stick out in the air wave at him, you should wave back. Let's see you waving. That's what we like to see. Look at that. Give him a wave. And he does react when he hears you guys clap. So if he does anything to impress you, at any time, feel free to join in, give him a round of applause. Sea lions are marine mammals. They feed on fish, squid, eel and octopus. They are associated with life in the water, but in fact they actually spend most of their time on land in the wild. The sea lions that we have here are California sea lions. And as the name suggests, they're found all the way along the west coastline of America. A lot of them are found in California, but they can also be seen as far north as Canada and as far south as the Gulf of Mexico. Ours here though, we're all bred in different zoos. Marvin here bred in Winston Wild Animal Park. They are not an endangered species, they're not classed as threatened. They're actually doing pretty well in the wild, I'm pleased to say. The main reason we've only got the male group here. If we had any females, within a few years we could be over with the sea lions, because they do breed very, very successfully. So we've got a bachelor group here at the moment, and no plans to breed them in the immediate future, but who knows? We have bred them here in the past many years ago, we might do again one day. But at the moment we've got the 4 boys here. Now Marvin has been trained to do all sorts of different things from the moment he arrived here. We trained him to do a few basic things, like follow us around, sit on command. We train them all to open their mouths so we can check their teeth. If I want to check his teeth, I just touch him on the chin, and he opens his mouth like that. So checking the teeth is easy for us, it's easy for the vet. Now they breathe through the mouth and nose like us, what demonstrates they are. And they can hold their breath for about 15 minutes if they have to. They rarely need to do that here, but they can stay underwater for up to a quarter of an hour on just one breath of air. We've also trained him to blow his nose. When I touch him on the nose, he does this. It's quite disgusting, but he blows his nose every time. Now that's trained so we can take a mucus sample from him. They can suffer from infections in the nose and throat, which can be quite serious. So we train them to blow their nose, allowing us to take a sample of mucus which we can send to the lab and have tested. If there are any nasty bugs or bacteria in there, we can give the animal the right medication. So in the current climate, that's pretty impressive. Now Marvin here can walk about on his flippers. Watch how he moves, he walks on all fours. The back flippers tuck underneath the body, the front flippers bend in the middle. So he can run, he can jump, he can even climb up steps. These animals are pretty fast and pretty agile as well. Can you climb to the top of the tower for us? Now if he's brave enough, He will dive into the pool from up there. When he gets to the top, we'll give him a countdown from 3 to 1. And if he gets to dive, we'll give him a big round of applause. The other day when practicing, for some reason he bottled out and walked back down the steps. But we'll give it a try. Let's give him a countdown. 3,
2, 1.
These creatures prey on fish, squid, eel and octopus. With fish making up the majority of that diet. Now here the fish are easy to catch because we've just defrosted them. Catching that food in the wild takes a lot of effort. They've got to find the food first of all. They often have to swim vast distances to find the fish they need. But they are quick in the water. They can reach a top speed of around 15 miles per hour. And it's the big front flippers that propel them. The back flippers aren't as big and as powerful, but they act like the rudder on a boat, helping the sea lions twist and turn when they're chasing fish. They in turn have predators. One of them is a fellow marine mammal, the killer whale. But this is Marvin's impression of the other predator they face. Can you guess what he's pretending to be here? The flipper gives you a clue. As to which other creature they have to avoid. You've got to do it again, Marvin. You've got to lift your flipper up or it doesn't work. What is it, Kate? Shout it out.
Shark!
Now we've got to be a bit more clear. Most sharks are actually harmless. Sharks have a bad reputation, but most of them don't eat sea lions and they don't eat surfers, that's the thing. But there are 3 species of sharks that they do have to avoid. They are attacked and eaten by tiger sharks, bull sharks and great white sharks. Marvin, what would a sea lion do if it spotted any of those sharks? Leg it, yes, take to dry land. Out on land, they have no natural predators. Yeah, a long time ago, us humans used to hunt these animals. We used to hunt them for their blubber, which we turned into oil. We used to hunt them for their fur too. They appear smooth and slippery when wet, but they're actually furry. And we hunted them for that fur. But we no longer hunt this type of animal, and the California sea lion is protected. And therefore, on land, they've got no natural predators. So, on the beach, that's the safest place to be in the wild. And that is actually where they spend the majority of their life, not in the ocean. In the ocean, there's a shark or a killer whale looking for them all the time. So the best way to survive is get in the ocean, catch fish, and get out again. Now, as we said, they're not an endangered species, not threatened. But it's not the same for all species. There are some species of seal and sea lion that's critically endangered. We actually collect funds for the monk seal research, which you can read about on the boards around the building. The Mediterranean monk seal is critically endangered, with fewer than 500 known to survive at the moment. So they are on the brink of extinction. And if you want to read more about that, you can see all about it on the signs around the building. Now we've got a few hoops here, and if I throw these in the pool, Marvin will bring them back to me. This is a really simple exercise. We train the animals different things all the time, we give them different toys to play with, and it's known as enrichment. It's a way of keeping them occupied and prevents them from getting bored. This is a really simple task that you can train in no time at all. All you do is reward the animal the first time they bring a hoop back to you. Give them a piece of fish, give them a pat on the back, and say, well done, good. The training we do here is all based on positive reinforcements, which is what I'm doing every time I give him a pat on the back, every time I say, well done, good boy. That's just as good as feeding him a piece of fish. These animals, especially Marvin, love attention. So reward them with food or attention or both when they do something right. That's how we train them. It's like training your dog at home. With a bit of practice, they can learn to do more difficult things, like catching the hoops. It took a few months of practice for him to learn to catch like this. I can throw him in the air, I can throw him high or low, and he can stretch out that long neck, get his head in the right place, catch each and every one. If he gets this, a big clap. Whoa! We can make this a bit more difficult, like flipping the hoops. When we flip the hoops, he's got to adjust his head at the last second to make the catch. So this is much more difficult, especially when the sun's in his eyes. It doesn't help that my throwing can be pretty bad too. But his catching skills are fantastic. These animals have 2 eyes that face forward, like us, what's known as binocular vision. So they can judge distance, and they can judge speed. He can judge how fast the hoops are moving. He can judge where right place to make the catch. 4 out of 5, can we make it a full house? Of course we can. Very good, man. Very good indeed. Now, teaching them different things, keeping them occupied is important. And no matter how silly or simple an exercise might look, if it gives them something to think about, something to focus on, it prevents boredom. We've recently taught Marvin to use a dustbin. Now, this is just for fun, of course, but it's quite an important lesson. This in the wild, thousands and thousands of sea lions die every year after choking on rubbish, mainly plastic. Plastic's the big issue because most of it doesn't biodegrade, doesn't break down. We're all aware of the problem we've got plastic in the oceans now. We dump millions of tons of the stuff in the seas and oceans every year. It has a serious effect on all marine life, but sea lions are naturally very playful animals, they're inquisitive, so they get entangled in stuff and they frequently choke on things that they find floating in the water. So it can be a problem. It can be a problem here. If litter gets in the pool and the other sea lions find it, they try to swallow it. But you're smarter than them, aren't you, Marvin? Look what he's learned to do. It took us a while, but he learned to open it. It took us long enough to train him to do that. But in the bin, you've got a piece of plastic. If one of the others gets hold of this, we're in big trouble. But you are smart, aren't you? Show everybody what you should do with your plastic. This bin's for recycling. And if we all make sure all our litter, whenever we're around the coast especially, goes in the bin for recycling preferably, it doesn't harm you. All we have to do is train the other 3 sea lions to do that as well. Now, Marvin's going to try a bit of balancing. No sea lion show is complete without a bit of ball balancing. This is a brilliant activity because learning to do this takes a long, long time. The little sea lion who's going to meet Matteo can't do it. He might never learn. But Marvin can actually catch the ball with his nose and hold it there. Well, those of you that have been before it's all to do with the whiskers. The whiskers are the secret to this activity. It's got about 60 whiskers around that nose, 30 on either side of the face. They vary in length, some are tiny, some are stronger. Each one of them has a strong nerve on the face, making them more sensitive than our fingertips. They can't actually hold the ball if they're not strong, but they can feel which way the ball's moving. So that's what he's doing. Every time that ball presses on his whiskers, he's feeling that pressure. He moves his head slightly. Because he's been doing this for a long time, he can keep his head fairly still. The ball hardly moves. That's the sign of an expert. And because he's such an expert at this, we're going to make it a bit harder. First of all, for catching that ball and balancing it so well, you deserve a whole mackerel. But now let's see a really difficult balance. We've got a 10-pin bowling skiffle here, very heavy. The real thing this from the local bowling alley. And he can balance it on his nose. None of the other sea lions here can do this. But not only that, he can walk around and balance at the same time. So this is really difficult. It's taking years and years of practice every day, several times a day to get this good at balancing. No sea lion can balance the ball straight away. They don't realise they can do it until we show them. And that's what takes time. Now look how he can get up and down steps without dropping it. As you see, he can dive in the pool without it. And it's not a trick. People always say to me, it's a circus trick that. It's a magic trick that. There's no magic involved, no trickery involved at all. It's all about skill, it's all about practice. And it's all about using those whiskers. And Marvin, you have done that perfectly. What an amazing bit of balancing. In the wild, they can use those whiskers to help them find fish. When a fish like this mackerel swims, it moves its tail like that. Well, this one doesn't. They swim by doing that. Now that creates little waves in the water behind the fish. The whiskers can detect and recognise those waves. So when it's too dark and murky to see the fish, they can still find them. It allows the sea lion to actually survive on occasions if they go blind in the wild. There's a rare mammal that can do that. Everyone away, Marvin. Give him a clap as he disappears. We are going to bring out Matteo just for a minute or two to give him a chance He's only 2, only 3 in June. Born in Dublin Zoo back in 2018, and he arrived here when he was just a year old. So he's quite well settled now, but he is a mystery. He doesn't know. Basically, anything can happen when he comes out. Now, as you can see, he's very cute. You come on up here. Good boy. You can come and sit on this stand there. That's it. Now, Matteo, he's just learning to do a few basic things. Like Marvin, he will give you all a big wave. A lovely big wave. Good boy. Like Marvin, he's learned to open his mouth. One of the first things we try to train them up wide. Open. Yes, so we can check those two. Even next to sound effects too. And with his help, we'll explain a few differences between sea lions and seals. People do get confused between sea lions and seals. There's an easy way to tell them apart. Look at their ears. On the side of his head, he's got tiny little ear flaps. I'll point to them. They're only small. You can see there a little ear sticking out on the side of his head. All species of sea lion have ears that stick out. Seals don't. A seal's ear is just a little hole inside of his head. So if you can see the ear flaps, it's a seal. If the creature has big front flippers, it's definitely a sea lion. A seal's front flipper only grows to the size of my hand. So you can see there, quite a size difference. And the two animals walk in different ways. You saw Marvin climbing those steps earlier on. These animals walk using all 4 flippers. The back flippers and the front flippers can lift the body off the ground, allowing them to walk about like that. Now I'm hoping this little fella's going to do his seal impression for you. Now he's just learned to do this. He's going to show you how a seal moves on land, hopefully. Now Matteo, can you show everybody how a seal moves? They can't walk or run or jump or climb. They just do this. They just bounce along on their belly. That's how they have to do because their flippers are too small to stand or walk on. That is how you tell a seal from a sea lion. Give him a round of applause for this. Now, he will actually clap, but because this stand's quite big, he finds it a bit difficult. You can clap, can't you? Can you do me clap? Clap. 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 Okay, then do. Right, we'll try something different. To end the show, we're going to see if he can do the high ball. You may have noticed there is a pink ball suspended above the booth. He's going to try and hit that ball with his nose to end the show. And if he hits it, he deserves a big clap. We might not clap himself, but you guys can give him a clap if he hits that ball. But after the show, I'll tell you what we're going to do. This little fella's going to be round the back. And we do have a one-way system in place at the moment, so if possible, we'd like you to leave by that gate to the right-hand side of the pool. The other gate's open, you need to leave that way you can. But if you go that way, you will see him posing for photos. If you want a photo with a sea lion, you've got to buy a poster, which costs you a £5. And if you buy a poster, you can pose for a picture with him. He's not taking those pictures, it's £5 per person, but all the proceeds go directly back to the sea lions here. All contribute to these guys. They're everyday care, they're never ending the fish bills, so it's much appreciated. Now let's see if we can end the show with the high ball jump. Are you ready for this? This is your big moment, Matteo. Come down here. Are you ready? On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. That's a big jump for a little sea lion. Can you get it? Oh, I think he got his whiskers to it. Well done, Matteo.
In the class.
Now thank you all very, very much for coming here. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you had a fantastic day in Flamingoland. The Sea Lion building will close temporarily after the show, so I can bring little Merlin over here. But if you want to see all the sea lions together, this building will be open between 3 and half 3. If you want to see them all together, come back at 3 o'clock. But from Matteo, Marvin and me, bye-bye. Thank you all.
So that's us just out the sea lion, not seal.
Seal? Now we know
sea
the
lion.
difference.
You'll have to watch it. If you've skipped, you'll have to go back now. The sea lion show. We are just heading to the penguin enclosure now. So we'll see over there. They're going to be doing a feeding for the penguins, aren't they?
And a talk, yeah.
And a talk, so that should be good as well. So we'll see you over at the penguin enclosure.
All penguins occur in the southern hemisphere, so below the equator. Oh, the myth that penguins occur only in Antarctica is a big fat lie. These guys can occur in quite warm places like South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and even in South America, which is where these guys are from. They occur in Peru and Chile, so they're also sometimes called the Peruvian penguin, or actually sometimes colloquially or fondly named the ass or donkey penguin because of the noise they make. They do like a noise. Is that good, Linda? Yeah, there we go. We have about 40, just under 40, around 40 penguins here now. With new ones being born, I'm not going to put a definitive number on just yet because we are increasing our penguin colony size. And we have about 30 or so adults and then between 7 to 10 chicks of different ages. Now adults take about 2 years, they take about 2 years to get their adult feathers. You can see the ones that are adults because the one walking away from Linda just now, he's got his nice sort of white stomach with that black sort of stripe from around his wings, over his chest and down. The ones behind him are adolescents. They haven't got that white stripe, they haven't got that adult colouring yet. They go from grey and fluffy to that sort of colouring, and then they move on from that to the adult colours. And they shed and change their feathers at least once a year. So if you ever do come again and you see them sort of looking a bit sorry for themselves on the edge of the water, they might just be in shed and they don't want to go in the water because they may be painted in water with feathers or just not feeling very like going in any water. Now they don't only have just two is quite a good number for penguins because they're two different things of a lot of things. They have two eyelids, one's transparent, so when they go underwater they can see underwater, so they can hunt that fish they like to do a lot. They spend a lot of time in water. That's where they do most of their hunting, well, they do almost all their hunting, finding that fish. What we feed here is something called sprat. It's quite a small fish. And these guys can swim up to about 30 kilometres an hour underwater. And when they get really excited, they do something called porpoising. Basically, it's named after a porpoise of dolphins. If you think of dolphins going next to a boat, they dive out of the water. Penguins do that as well when they're excited. When they get really quick, they're diving in and out of the water like that. Just to show the excitement and everything. Now, these guys are also quite well adapted to camouflage in the water. Now, penguins are black and white. It's not because they're wearing those tuxedos. You can actually tell them with camouflage. It's almost two-tonal. So when you go into the water, if you look down from above, that black back blends in really well with the depth of the ocean. So any predators from above, sea lions or sharks, struggle really hard to see them from above. Alternatively, if you put hunting from underneath, that white belly blends in with the glare of the sun. So it's a very good way of camouflaging. You actually see it in a lot of marine animals. Their belly is a lot lighter than their back. Even fish, they've got a stripe, a lateral line down their body, which means that underneath them is light. They do have great white sharks, for example, their white belly to the dark back. Now these guys live about 30 years in captivity. Our oldest one's Big Al, he's getting close to 30 now. He's doing really well. Do you know what? Big Al, I think, is this one just here. Linda, is Big Al this one just here? No, that's it. I'm not very good at telling them apart. He normally spends his time around here, if I'm right. Is his house one of these ones? I don't think you can hear me. Got a big... Right, thank you.
Silver ring.
And that's what I was going to get onto, is how to identify... It might be head close to head out now. So how it's just little pens ones down here. But each of our penguins has a bead or a clip on their wing so we can identify them. It's quite hard to tell them apart. That's not big enough. That might be big enough. Possibly. But I'm not a penguin keeper, so I can't really tell them apart. I need a sheet to see what colour matches up with which one. However, if you've been working them as long as Linda, you'll know them just by sight. Every single penguin has a speckled pattern on their tummy, and that individual is like a fingerprint. No two penguins have the same spot pattern on their tummy. So if you get close enough and you learn them out, you'll be able to see what they actually look like, who they are, who's who. Now, some of them like to be hand-fed from in like that, and others like to be fed in the water. and this isn't their only feed. So you might see some that aren't hungry. It's because they get fed quite a few times in the morning and in the evening after you guys have gone as well. It's just because some of them are on eggs, some of them are on chicks, and so they don't come out in the morning. And Linda actually goes around at the very end. There's a door just behind the rock there, and a door underneath here, so you can go around checking on their boxes, and then you penguins that are on chicks who have eaten. They can go through a lot of sprats, sometimes 30 to 40 per penguin. Yeah, they can be extremely voracious eaters. Now, one thing I always say is, in the wild, penguins are normally known to be monogamous, so they have the same partner for the whole of their life. In captivity, it's a slightly different story. Whether or not it's because they haven't got to spend so much time hunting for food, they've got more time to have their eyes wandering and stuff like that. In captivity, it's a bit more like EastEnders. There's always a story I got told when I started here, that we had two penguins arrive here called Lizzie and Zag, and they were a pair when they arrived here, and they set up shop in one of their little nest boxes. They don't share nest boxes with other groups, so that each one has their own. But straight away Zag's eyes started to wander, and he laid his eyes on Lex. So he started seeing Lizzie and Lex behind their back, and he'd go between nest boxes to see each other. He then got quite bored of that and thought, being a man too lazy, and decided to move Lex in with Lizzie. It didn't go down very well, and so Sullivan came in and now with Lizzie, and I believe Lex is with someone else, but she still has a thing for Zag and goes back to him occasionally. So, very unfaithful penguins here, some of them. Some of them have been here for a very long time, and have had no problems, but others seem to have their minds wandering a bit too much. Now, the last thing I'll say is about this enclosure here, before I talk about the population. This was specially designed because a lot of research says that actually penguins do best breeding and in terms of their stress where they have the same amount of land as they do water. They very rarely go over down there. They sometimes pick up some nest material from the bushes down there. You can see one stood over there, between the two trees. But we designed that with all the research in mind to sort of hopefully relieve their stress. And they don't have any stereotypical behaviour. They're very happy penguins. You hear them doing their donkey noise all day long, splashing about. So we are very lucky to have them here, and we had two chicks yesterday. So hopefully we'll have a few more at the end of this year, and we'll see how that goes. And the last thing I'll say is there's only about 12,000 of these guys left in the wild. They are now classed as vulnerable. The biggest thing, of course, is sea level rising, temperature rise, and poaching and hunting and loss of habitat. When we say loss of habitat, of course, we're not actually losing the sea, but as temperature increases, fish might go elsewhere, which means they're not in their normal habitat anymore, and so they've got to go further to try and find food, which means it's not always easy to raise a chick because we've gone for a long time, which means the chick might not get food, goes hungry and unfortunately dies. So we're really trying to conserve these guys. Plastic pollution is also a big problem with a lot of marine animals. These guys can get caught in things. And I don't know if you ever watched the plastic thing on BBC, where they had the gulls on the island that had been feeding their chicks plastic, and their plastic sticks were full of plastic. That can happen to penguins as well. I do know that some of these guys sometimes eat too many stones, and they can bust their stomach up because it's too much stones. It that plastic is even more dangerous. So these guys are doing well, and their population isn't decreasing rapidly, so we've got the chance of saving these guys, so we're happy with that. But as you can see, Linda loves her penguins, they love her. She is the bird lady, and that's the donkey noise. I'd give myself an 8 out of 10 for my impression. But that is our last talk of the day, guys, so I'll be here to answer any more questions if you've got any. I hope you enjoyed that and all the other talks today, and we're really happy to have you back. And enjoy the rest of your day at Flamingoland. Thank you very much.
So I hope you enjoyed the penguin talk at their enclosure. We're just heading over now, back over to the restaurant slash pub, where we can do a full food review. Gemma's excited. She's starving, to be fair, I'm starving as well. So we'll see you over, can you remember the name? The Coach House. We'll see you over at the Coach House for our full food review. See you over there. So that is us in the coach house now. I've just had my food. It was £13.95. I say I've just had it. I've just been given my food. So here it is. So I got a burger, plain burger with chips and salad, and an extra fries because I didn't realise that I got chips with it, even though Gemma told us.
Because Michael doesn't read menus.
I just didn't listen. What did you want, Gemma?
I've got the hot beef ciabatta with chips.
Hot. And how much was that? I can't remember. Well, hopefully she'll remember when she checks. Oh, well, here's our drink. Thank you.
That's what I wanted first.
Another, what is it? Lager, beer. Foster's. Oh well, she's having another Foster's. So hopefully, when she does get a ciabatta, I'll give you a look at what the ciabatta looks like. I don't actually know what ciabatta is. What is it?
It's like a bread, like a square of bread roll.
Like a sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh well, just a posh sandwich. So hopefully it didn't cost too much. I thought it was quite reasonable.
$6.90 it was.
$6.90. Oh well,
chips and salad.
well, I find this quite reasonable here compared to other theme parks. Definitely quite reasonable. So if you are coming to Flamingoland, definitely give the coach house a look. Definitely, even if you're just having a drink, it's definitely worth coming in here. So, and I say coming in here, we are in the Conservatory. It is open to the elements due to the COVID restrictions. We can't be inside, but it's just that little bit warmer inside, under the canopy, should I say?
And
So
it's also right across from the play area and the play park. So
yeah, so if you do have kids, it's pretty ideal. So I'm gonna have my food now, and we'll see you for hopefully the closing down speech of the Flamingoland trip after food. So we'll see you then. So Gemma's food has appeared. The ciabatta, beef ciabatta, isn't it? Mm-hmm. With gravy.
Oh, and chips.
And chips. Mm-hmm. And salad. Side of salad. And how much did you say that cost? £6 odd? $6.90. That is really good for $6.90. So I'll let you have your food in peace.
Thank you.
And we'll see you after you've had food. So that is the day at a close here at Flamingoland. What did you think of that, Gemma?
It's been a good day for the limited things that were open.
We're actually very surprised at how good the day was.
Yeah. Well, it's always fun with animals, isn't it?
It is, that's right. And what we were just saying is there was no way we could fit this, what we've done today, and the theme park in all in one day.
No way.
It just wasn't happening. Basically, if the theme park was open, we'd probably spend most of our time at the theme park and would have neglected the animals, or the vice versa. So I think it is definitely a 2-day park. It's definitely a resort. They target themselves as a resort, and I do agree with that. Trying to think.
I think the facilities have been good. The staff have all been quite happy. The gift shop was all right. It was just open till 4 o'clock.
Yes, you got to the gift shop. I
just got in there for the puzzle pen.
I thought I'd lost you. I was like, where have you gone?
But for young kids with young families, absolutely cracking day.
Yeah.
The zoo was all well kept.
Oh yeah, that's right.
COVID procedures were all quite good.
Yeah, and hopefully, like I said, we'll be getting back here in the summer when the theme park is open. I am going to try and get down to show you a little bit of the footage of the new roller coaster, which I still think is unnamed. So I'll try and get you some footage at the end of this video of that. But thank you for watching today's video. A gap day tomorrow, but I'll be at Alton Towers on Thursday, so that's something to look forward to. If there's anything that I've missed, please put it down in the comments. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon for more amazing videos just like this one. Give us a like or a dislike if you don't like it. I'm not too fussed. But let's hope it's a like. And until then, stay safe, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye!